Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling. We have a great lineup of matches for you this week, and we'll be telling you about those a little later on. Right now, here is Paul Jones, and look who's back. Dory Funk Jr.'s back, Paul.
Well, that's right, and Dory's all fired up. You know, when Dory lost the Mid-Atlantic belt to Rufus R. Jones, what an embarrassing moment, not only to Dory, not only to me, but to millions of fans around the country to think someone like Rufus R. Jones could defeat Dory Funk. But I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. I'm not going to go in to say how he won the belt. But if I told you people exactly how he won the belt, you'd probably, next time you saw Rufus, you'd probably slap him right across that mouth of his. Well, let me tell you something right now, though. We're declaring war on a lot of wrestlers around this area. I tell you, the wrestlers, the caliber is getting tougher and tougher. Valentine is bearing down. The assassins are making a big splash in this area.
Dory, what about it?
Well, first of all, it's good to be back, and you people are looking at the classiest operation in professional wrestling. I've heard some people say that they're going to declare war on Paul Jones. It can't be done, because Paul Jones is not only doing a great service for me, he's a great manager, but he's a great wrestler in his own right, too. So anybody that thinks they're going to do anything to Paul Jones better think twice.
All right, fans, we'll be back. We'll be back with action. Charlie Brown against Golden Boy Gray right after we take time out for this message. All right, fans, and in the ring, Golden Boy Gray, and we're waiting now for Charlie Brown. Enter the arena, enter the ring is Charlie Brown and Golden Boy Gray will be our first match right here on Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling for this week. Charlie Brown and the crowd always excited when Charlie Brown enters the arena. And of course, with that mask, he always goes down, has a few words to say to some of his many, many fans. Into the ring, bouncing around and ready to go. Referee Tommy Young. And Brown goes right to work now on Gray. Through the ropes. By the hair, right through the ropes, off of the apron, down onto the concrete floor of the arena. And here is Brown right after him, slamming him hard now to the post, to the ring post, and goes again after Gray. Brown now throwing him back into the ring. Well, when he came out, he really went to work, and went to work in a hurry on Golden Boy Gray. Brown, who is hyper, always moving, always plenty of action with the elbow now, as Gray came hard off of the ropes. Fans, let me just remind you of some of the outstanding matches you'll be seeing during this hour. We get our first look at Mark Youngblood, the brother of Jay Youngblood, against Bill Howard. Also, Assassin 1 and 2 in tag team action. Then you're going to see Wahoo McDaniel and Roddy Piper team together. And then, of course, right here, the World Tag Team Champions, Jack and Jerry Briscoe. There's a knee coming off the ropes. Charlie Brown with that knee again, this time into the midsection now of Gray. He's going to whip him off the ropes, and he's got him in the sleeper. Good night, Irene, says Charlie Brown, as he's got Golden Boy Gray now in that sleeper. And referee Tommy Young checking it out, doing the counting on it. At the bell with the sleeper, Charlie Brown puts Golden Boy Gray out to the count, and the winner of our opening match, Golden Boy Gray, goes down to defeat the Charlie Brown. All right, fans, and right here ringside, let me introduce Bob Geigel, right here, president of NWA. Bob, delighted to have you on Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling.
It's really a pleasure to be here tonight.
And you're here for two reasons. One of them, of course, Ric Flair, who was injured last week. Bob Orton Jr., Dick Slater, right here, Bob.
Yes, I sure am. They were both suspended. However, their lawyers got an injunction. We were served with an injunction. We cannot stop them from wrestling at this time. However, I have taken it upon myself and the board to fine each of these people $5,000, and before they may wrestle, $5,000 must be paid to me.
First of all, it doesn't matter. We brought the $5,000. The National Wrestling Alliance wants to fine us, that's fine. Harley Race has made sure that the $5,000 will be paid to you. Right there is $5,000 in cold cash money.
Show them the money, Dick.
Now, we knew we were going to be fined. The $5,000 we knew we were going to have to pay. So there's $5,000 right here, and that's our debt. For else, what do we do from here on out? You can contact our lawyer as far as I'm concerned.
And I'll tell you,
Mr. Orton,
Jim Crockett.
in my opinion, you got off light, $5,000 fine, and I'm going to get with my lawyer, and I'm going to see if the suspension can't be put back in.
$25,000 was
Listen to
ours.
this, Dickie.
$25,000 was ours. $5,000 went back to you. We'll take the $20,000. We'll
This is
enjoy
the way I
ourselves.
think about
And
it.
as far as I'm concerned,
now, ladies
Harley
and
Race got
gentlemen,
his, where he's coming
Dickie.
from, and so did Ric Flair.
This presents a real paradox. You understand, you illiterates here? A paradox is not a couple of brain surgeons or where you park two boats. No, look it up in the dictionary. What this makes you, Crockett, as far as I'm concerned, is a 20% partner. Can you carry the weight on your shoulders? I can carry it on mine. What I did was an act of pure genius. I'm a genius. You understand that? You stick that in your pipe and
We'll just see how smart you are.
All right, and of course, one of the other reasons you were here, and this man right here, Gary Hart, last week told the wrestling world that you were going to be here to rule in his favor this week.
Now wait a minute!
That's
Don't
exactly what you said,
you
Gary.
prejudice the president of the National Wrestling Alliance. I have suggested that Mr. Geigel, one of the finest presidents the alliance has ever had, come here and give a logical and reasonable explanation to this boogie woogie boy, this Charles Brown. Mr. Geigel, he can make his own comment. I don't have to prejudice him. Let him tell you what he's here to say.
All right, Mr. Geigel.
Well, I've looked into the facts of this. I've looked at tapes. I didn't get to see the tape I wanted to see. However, I am going to make a decision, and the decision is going to be a just one.
Good.
Now, Charlie Brown has been accused of being Jimmy Valiant. I don't know whether Charlie Brown is Jimmy Valiant or whether he is not Jimmy Valiant.
Come on, now, how are you going to stand here and tell these people that that man is none other than Boogie Woogie Boy? You're here to give a reasonable and fair decision, and I think you ought to do that. You being the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, you have certain responsibilities not to allow rip-offs like this to take place with Charlie Brown. Now, you're a reasonable man. Show me some reason why he shouldn't be suspended forever.
Well, right here is a program from Memphis, Tennessee, where Jimmy Valiant was wrestling in Memphis, Tennessee. That's one reason.
That's right. All right. There's one.
That's one. Now, I'd like to say this at this time. May I have that, please? I'd like to say at this time that the burden of proof rests with you, Gary Hart.
Why with me? Why does the burden of proof rest with me? You're the president of the National Wrestling Alliance, man. Why don't you do something about it? Why does the burden of proof have to be with me?
The National Wrestling Alliance has never made a practice of removing wrestlers' masks, and they're not going to start now. If you can prove to me, if you can remove this man's mask, then I will not only back up the fine, the suspension. If you can prove to me that Charlie Brown is Jimmy Valiant, then I will not only suspend him for the 90 days in Mid-Atlantic and Worldwide, I will suspend him for 1 year
You are letting
in the
him get by
National
with
Wrestling
murder
Alliance.
until November the 26th. You just made it legal for him to run around here until the 26th of November. You haven't done anything for me, Geigel. What did you do for me here today? Rip me off like them other...
Gary, he was here to make a fair and impartial
You call
decision.
that fair? Everybody in the world knows that Jimmy Valiant. But I'm the only one that's wise enough to see it. You haven't done anything for me here today, man. What did you come here for in the first place if you weren't going to give me what I wanted?
I came to deliver what I feel and the National Wrestling Alliance feels is a fair decision.
Fair and impartial decision, fans. That decision from Bob Geigel, the president of the NWA. And we'll be back. We'll have action in the ring right after this timeout. All right, fans, the bell. And action right here. Bill Howard and Mark Youngblood. Mark Youngblood, the young brother of Jay Youngblood. And, of course, Jay has been teamed with Rick Steamboat. And he's one of the most popular wrestlers ever to appear in the Mid-Atlantic area, and we're delighted now to get our first look at Mark Youngblood right here. Who is down to the head scissors goes Youngblood. Howard headed in the
Howard. No.
Looking young man. This Mark Youngblood. Tremendous physical, great athletic ability. Very, very quick now. Back to his feet again. And I think right here is a young man that is really going to be making a name for himself. And you fans are going to see and you're going to hear a lot about this young man. So keep that name right in mind. Mark Youngblood. And his brother, Jay, right out at ringside. He's here watching the action, watching Mark in the ring. As Howard now went to the wrist. Down to the arm, and he picks it up. Into the mat. Howard, who hit the mat hard, reaches back, rubs the back a little bit, but he's slow getting up off of the mat as he's over near the ropes. Boy, for a man the size of Mark Youngblood. Mark Youngblood, who is very, very quick for a man his size. Test of strength right now near the center of the ring, and it's Youngblood now who has the advantage on Howard as he's got those hands turned around and over, and he's got the leverage on him, but here's Howard just about to turn it around. Gets the foot into the midsection. That's going to break it up. Howard now with the wrist. Down again goes Mark now from the hair. Mark Youngblood, the brother of Jay Youngblood, and fans, as we say, Jay Youngblood right here at ringside now, watching his brother in action up in that ring as Mark is back to the corner by Howard. Howard with a couple of good hard rights right into the midsection as he had him back into the corner. Front face. Brings him out of the corner and off of the ropes, and now it's going to be Howard in the corner. Let's see what Youngblood's going to do with him. Well, a good chop and a tremendous chop coming back. Turnbuckle goes Howard. Bulldogs him out of the corner. Cuts him a flip. Hooks the leg as he's got him covered with the press. 1, 2, 3 after hooking that leg. And very quickly you see Jay now into the ring, and they're two happy youngsters right there, Mark and Jay Youngblood. And a good win for him over a tough competitor, Bill Howard. And of course, right here, Bob Orton Jr., Dick Slater, Paul Jones, and fellas, I tell you, we've got a tape of exactly what happened last week. And Bob Orton, Dick Slater has said he was after $25,000. That was no surprise. I never was so shocked in my life as to see Bob Orton Jr. in that ring trying to collect that bounty.
I'm a businessman, Bob, and when it comes down to business, I'm one of the shrewdest in the world. And what it amounted to was $25,000 worth of business money, Daddy, and I collected it.
All right, now we're going to show you, Bob, some of the things that happened and what happened at the match, at the end of that match, with you and Dick Slater in that ring.
Paul Jones talk about that.
You know, one thing I can't understand is you got two great men like these two men standing here, Slater and Bob Orton, and you get a bunch of crybabies, and this is mainly a man's profession. Men against men, not crybabies. And I don't condemn what these two men did. You're in a sport where it's dog eat dog and every man for himself. Now right here.
Paul, this was a world championship match. There was the champion, Harley Race, in that ring against the challenger, Ric Flair.
Hey, Paul, we have paid our fine of $5,000 for what we did to Ric Flair, but Ric Flair is no more in professional wrestling because the $25,000, the world heavyweight champion, Ric Flair is washed up. He is out. He is gone. That's the job that we were set out to do. I had told people that I was going to put him out. Bob Orton Jr. was right there with me. He witnessed the whole thing. He went ahead and he was as instrumental as I was in putting Ric Flair out of professional wrestling, just like Harley Race paid to do so.
You know what gets me, guys, is Ric Flair really thinks he's hot stuff. He really thinks he's worth a fortune. But you guys and I know that he's only worth $5,000.
Dick Slater coming into the ring.
Look right here. Watch right here when I roll into the ring, Daddy. I'm going to give Ric Flair the okay sign. I'm going to say, Ric Flair, everything's taken care of.
That was sneaky, too,
I will tell you what it is, Daddy. It's pure genius. It took me a long time to convince Flair. Look at me come in telling Flair he's got it made. Look at me go to Dickie, fooling everybody. And now watch me bomb Flair, Daddy. That's what it's all about, $25,000. And what you're going to see here in a minute is one of the most devastating wrestling moves in the history of NWA wrestling. This is what finished Ric Flair right here. When you pile drive a man, when you crunch them vertebrae, real. Look at Dickie spiking, Daddy. Look at that neck hit. Look at him crunch. Well, baby, when you can feel them vertebrae crunch, then when you do what I do right here, Daddy, spike it, and it snaps, and that's the end of Ric Flair. He's through. He's finished. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, you can say that you're listening to the #1 man now, Daddy, the man who did it all, the biggest thing that ever hit this area. I'm the only thing besides a plane crash that has put Ric Flair in the hospital. The Russians have nothing on me, you understand? But it takes time, it takes planning. And what I did is one of the most brilliant, most genius things that's happened in wrestling in the last 25 years, Daddy. I put my name in the record books forever. And as far as Ric Flair being injured, he's a businessman, he understands. As far as people saying I'm a snake in the grass, they can say what they want. They don't have to pay my bills. They don't have to look at my big bank account, you see. I do. And I'm very proud of myself for what I did. You understand that? Because Harley Race is from Kansas City and I'm from Kansas City has nothing to do with it. The plain fact of the matter is, I've got the money, and that's what it boils down to, Daddy. They're carrying him out on a stretcher right now. Right. Ric Flair on a stretcher to the hospital in Minnesota. Well, Ricky Flair, let me tell you something, Daddy, right now, if you can hear it.
All right, fans, and that's the story from Bob Orton Jr. We'll be back right after this timeout. Fans, again, right here with us.
How you doing,
hey,
Bob?
Rick, I was about to lose you back there. Rick Steamboat right here. Jay Youngblood and Mark Youngblood. I tell you, we just saw this young man. That was a great debut, I would say, Rick.
You know, it's always good to have family come into the area and wrestle by your side. Jason's been like family to me for the past 4 years, and I've met this young man on a couple of occasions. And I'll tell you something, Bob, every time I see this young man come and he visits Jason, every time I see him, he seems to get bigger and stronger and he grows. And you can just tell by his wrestling style that his older brother right here is giving this young man a good lesson or two.
We're going to talk to him in just a moment. First, I got to very briefly, I'd like to hear from you. What about Bob Orton Jr.?
You know something, Bob, I can't believe, and I'm sure the fans can't believe what has happened, the turnaround. I guess it was money or greed. $25,000 was a lot of money. But then again, I can't believe what Bob Orton did to Ric Flair. And I've heard from Ric Flair on several occasions, and all he wants is Orton. That's all he's thinking about.
All right, and right here, Mark Youngblood. Mark, welcome. I tell you, it was great to see you up there, and I never seen anybody happier than Jay was when you came out of there with that win.
You know, I come here for one reason only. It's to be on my brother's side and to be on Steamboat's side. You know, I come here to do my best. I tell you what, I had just finished beating a man, Billy Howard, which is one of the toughest men in this area right now. And I tell you what, I'm coming here to watch my brother's back. I'm coming here to watch Steamer's back. I guarantee we're going to clean this town up once and for all.
I tell you, the way it's been, I think you got a watch backs around you now too, Mark. You've seen that since you've been here.
Yes, I have. You know, and it's fixing to stop. It's fixing to stop real soon.
I'll tell you what, Bob, you know, it gives me just goosebumps right now because this is honestly the first time I've ever seen my little brother wrestle. And Mark, you surprised the heck out of me. I don't think.
I'm going to correct you there. What do you mean little?
Well, I mean, younger brother now. I don't know what Mom's been feeding him, but Mom's been feeding a lot of potatoes and stuff, but he looks pretty good. And I'll tell you what, Mark, I appreciate you coming out here and telling exactly the people what you wanted to tell them. You said that you wanted to come back over here, take care of Rick's back, and take care of my back because you understand that the Briscoes cracked my ribs. It's spread like wildfire through the country. I'll tell you what, Mark, you're here. Welcome to Charlotte, the Queen City, with open arms.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, fans, there you have it from Jay Youngblood, Mark Youngblood, a young man you're going to hear a lot from, Rick Steamboat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you very much.
At the bell, fans, here you're looking at a really rough, tough team a mask combination. And the last several months, it has really caused a lot of mayhem all around. The Assassins, Assassin 1 and 2. Two big, strong, tough, rough individuals, and they're rough in that ring. In a match right now, you're seeing them against Bret Hart and Rick McCord, and that's in the ring. Who is slammed hard to the mat now by the Assassin. This Assassin, though he may not be quite as big as his partner, he has muscles and muscles to spare. Very, very strong individual. We've seen him take some tremendous blows coming off of the ropes. Some hard punches. And really good quick arm drag and takedown by Hart. Now with the arm bar and the wrist as the Assassin is on his feet. Tag and the court now comes in. He's got to take that wrist right away. This Assassin has been in since the opening bell. His partner, the heavier and the larger of the two, still outside, and McCord and Hart now working near their corner. And they tag and switch again. Great tag team action for you right here, fans, and you're going to be seeing more of it. Wahoo McDaniel and Roddy Piper in our next match team together. And then the world champions Jack Briscoe and Jerry Briscoe in a tag team match. By the way, talking about champions, we've heard a lot about the champion, about Harley Race, and what happened in the match between Harley Race and Ric Flair when Bob Orton Jr. and Dick Slater interfered and when they went out and injured Flair. But one thing you got to remember, right into the elbow now goes Hart. One thing you must remember, and that is that Harley Race is the champion, and he's the NWA champion, and NWA fans says it all in professional wrestling. And when you say that you're the champion of the NWA, right there, brother, you've said it all also. And that just tells you what kind of a competitor and what kind of a man Harley Race is. So even though we're hearing some things about Race and the fact that he put up $25,000 against Ric Flair, let's don't forget the one fact and the important fact that he is NWA heavyweight champion. The press now in the cover by the Assassin, and Hart kicks out, count of two. Tried to get over to make a tag, and the Assassin right back on him. Slams him to the foot now. Tag and a switch. The heavier man now in, and this man can really move for his size, fans. And he is a rough, tough one. Tremendous blow, just spins Hart around right into the corner of the tag, and they're going to switch again. What a chop. Again, down the ropes now, and into the corner goes Hart, and he has taken two tremendous blows from the Assassins, trying to fight his way now out of the corner. McCord over the top rope, and he's landing right hands right onto the jaw now, the Assassin. Over the ropes. Also, fans, I hope you were here at the beginning of the program when you saw NWA President Bob Geigel. The fact that he fined Bob Orton Jr. and Dick Slater $5,000 for their acts against Ric Flair. And also, when he told Gary Hart that if Gary Hart would bring him proof of the fact that Charlie Brown is Jimmy Valiant, then he would suspend him. The proof now, and the burden of the proof lies with Gary Hart. With a slam, power slam by the Assassin. Tag, and they're going to switch. And McCord on the mat, high with a knee. Again to the midsection, now to the back, and to the back of the neck. McCord really hurt, trying to get to the corner for a tag. As the Assassins, after the tag, get in, they cut him off from the corner. With the arm behind him, they're going to slam him again with the arm. And again, they're going to work on that arm. Trademark of the Assassins right here. If they get you hurt in one spot, they're going to stay on it, fans, and stay with it as they continue to work hard on the arm. McCord needs a tag. He's going to have a tag, or he's going to be in bad trouble. They continue to switch and tag. Continuing now to work on the arm. The shoulder, and the muscles in the arms and the shoulders. They keep just driving that knee right in, and McCord, he's helpless at this point, face down on the mat. Another tag and another switch by the Assassins. And McCord is saying yes. Well, fans, he took it just as long as he could on that arm, and he took a tremendous amount of punishment on that arm. He was over near the corner of the Assassins. No way could he get over for a tag, and he needed a tag desperately in order to get out of there. And right here you see as the Assassins really began to work on Rick McCord. And this match coming up a little later in the program, fans. We'll be back. Fans at ringside right now with us, Gary Hart. Gary, you said last week Bob Geigel, president of MWA, would be here this week to rule in your favor. He did not, of course. And he also said you have to take the mask off of Charlie Brown, prove to him that it's Jimmy Valiant, then he'll ban him. But you got to do that. You got to take the mask off. The burden of proof is on you.
Well, let me say this. I know, you know, and every person out there knows that Jimmy Valiant, alias Charlie Brown, we know what type of person Jimmy Valiant is. And by you supporting Jimmy Valiant, and you supporting him, and Bob Geigel supporting him, you see, everyone is trying to rip me off. But Bob Geigel, in his own little way, gave me my out on this whole situation, and it won't be for 90 days. It will not be till November the 26th. It will be for 1 year, because Bob Geigel, in his edict, he said, you take the mask off. He is gone for 1 year. National Wrestling Alliance, 32 countries. Jimmy Valiant, alias Charlie Brown. So I tell you what I've taken upon myself. People recall a wrestler by the name of Baron von Raschke. Yep. Do you know that name? Do you know who he is employed by as of today?
Well, I understand you are an agent for him and several other wrestlers too, Gary.
And not only will you see Baron von Raschke, who will unveil you and show each and every person that you are Jimmy Valiant. Baron von Raschke will be here before you know it. And if that is not enough, which I am sure that Baron von Raschke can handle you the best day you ever live, Charlie Brown, Jimmy Valiant, whoever, and all you people can say, Gary Hart, you will not be able to destroy him, but I will, with people like Baron von Raschke, Mark Lewin, Kevin Sullivan. Baron Raschke's gonna get you if you don't watch out.
All right, fans, a bell, and what a match right here. A match that would be a headline main event in any arena in the world. Right here, U.S. heavyweight champion Greg Valentine. You see Greg now taking off that championship belt. His partner right there, Dick Slater. And there they are. And across the ring here is Roddy Piper. And Piper is a partner, of course, going through the ropes right there, Wahoo McDaniel. Wahoo McDaniel and Roddy Piper in one corner. Greg Valentine and Dick Slater across the ring. Well, you know of the tremendous amount of bad blood now between Roddy Piper and Greg Valentine, and what has been going on with these fellows for a long, long time. And there are the two in the ring as the match gets underway. Valentine with a good leg takedown. From behind now has Piper, who is sitting, turning, and twisting. Good sit-outs by Piper. Now with the advantage on Valentine, trying to hold him to the mat. Here's Valentine turning and twisting and coming in, and has got him back Piper to the corner. Bad trouble right here when you get in the corner with Slater and Piper. Slater and Valentine, and Piper knew that. Well, you saw Piper come charging out of that corner. Referee Tommy Young also in there. We had a corner full right there, but Piper, he knew exactly what was good for him, and he got out of that corner in a hurry. Now Slater backs Piper again to the corner. It's been Piper since the bell. The first time that Slater has been in. Wahoo McDaniel still outside. Headbutt now by Slater as he had Piper in the ropes. Measures it and misses the elbow. Here's Piper, got him up hard for the slam. Slater now turning and facing him very quickly back on his feet. And he back to the corner. Yes, sir, fans. Nowhere but right here will you see matches like this one. Roddy Piper and Wahoo McDaniel together against Greg Valentine and Dick Slater. And this is Piper now and Slater. Slater with the advantage. Takedown in a quick count of two. Boy, Piper just did kick out in time. Slater now with the elbow smash right to the back of the neck. Makes the tag to Valentine. They're going to double team him in the corner. The bionic elbow of Valentine. Hard now to the top of the head of Piper. Now from behind with a chin lock, and Valentine. Hard pressure on that neck and the head. Greg Valentine, the U.S. champ, very strong, very rough, very tough individual. Outstanding competitor, and he's rough and tough and mean in the ring. Of course, Piper's well aware of that. Well, the injury to that ear from Valentine, and he and Valentine have had some monumental matches. They were more than matches. They were just knockdown, drag-out battles and fights. Piper now with Valentine in the air. Down on the knee goes Greg Valentine. Look at Piper after him in the corner. Another hard right hand. Valentine with the forearm. And Piper with a chop. There's the elbow as they slug it out toe-to-toe. Piper over the ropes to get a little more steam. And extra power behind that right hand floors the champ. The chop from Wahoo. Nobody chops like Wahoo McDaniel. The tag now from Piper. Here's Wahoo in for the first time. And it's the double team on Valentine. Slater had started into the ring very quickly. Between him and the action came referee Tommy Young. Wahoo now with Valentine on the mat has got the chin with a knee right to the back of the neck. Turning into Wahoo now comes Valentine, and Wahoo's going to be back to the corner. And into the ropes. What's going to happen right here? What kind of a break are we going to get? Wahoo trying to watch him, but he couldn't guard against that right hand. Powerful blow now from Valentine, and Wahoo with the chops. Again, they're toe-to-toe. And it's Valentine who gives ground from that chop, but comes right back with a foot. Down goes Valentine again. He's trying to get that leg. Wahoo fighting and turning it, but Valentine had made the tag. Here's Slater quickly in. Two of the roughest, toughest, meanest men in professional wrestling together right here. Dick Slater and Greg Valentine. Look at Slater as he continues to drop down with that arm and that elbow right across the throat now of Wahoo McDaniel. Wahoo flat with his back on the mat, almost helpless, rolls out from under it. Another hard chop, and now they're toe-to-toe, slugging it out again. Down goes Slater from the chop. Here comes Piper. Piper is setting up with those left jabs. Right hand sends him to the ropes. He had him all set for the back toss. High to the air was going to go Slater, but he caught Piper with that foot. Slater saw that one coming. Now here's Piper back in the corner again for the tag. Bad trouble right here. No man's land for Roddy Piper. Double elbow. Valentine came off of the ropes with the elbow at the same time that Slater landed the elbow to the back of the head. Those forearm elbows with tremendous power now from Valentine, and he's got him in the sleeper. Greg Valentine caught Roddy Piper coming off of the ropes with a sleeper. And they're out near the center of the ring. Valentine putting the pressure on it. Piper in trouble right here, fans. And you can see just how weak he's getting as he goes down to a sitting position. Piper now sitting out near the center of the ring, and he's a long, long way from a tag. Almost in the corner where Slater is. He's got to go all the way across that ring for a tag. Piper now fighting it. He's reaching down, trying to get every bit of an ounce of strength that he can right here. And he needs it, fans. Valentine with a sleeper. Referee Tommy Young now checking that arm, and no, says Piper, as he sits up again. Valentine has had him in that sleeper now for several seconds, but he's been unable to put him away. Piper now on his knees, fighting it again, trying to get to his feet, trying to get to the corner for a tag. Talk about determination and talk about grit. Roddy Piper is showing you plenty of it right here. Again, he's down on his knees as Valentine continues to apply the pressure. Back to the ropes, and he falls face down on the mat. But Valentine is hurt in the corner. And slow to recover was Valentine. Here he comes, right down on the knees. Piper got his knees up as Valentine went high to the air, and diving to the corner goes Roddy Piper. Here's Wahoo McDaniel. Two big chops and Valentine goes down. Slater got in for a moment, but he's back out as Wahoo McDaniel now goes to work again on Greg Valentine, and he's clawing at the nose and the mouth. Boy, Roddy Piper got to the corner, made the tag to the Chief just when he needed to. And right in the nick of time, atomic drop. Valentine hard down on a knee, face first into the corner in the turnbuckle. Right on top of him again now comes the Chief. Wahoo McDaniel's on the attack. Gonna be back to the ropes and off of the ropes. He's through the ropes. Slater got a foot up on the ropes and spread them wide apart. And instead of hitting the ropes, Wahoo went right through them. And Slater down onto the floor after him. Gives him a couple of hard chops. And Wahoo, who really got hurt when he hit that concrete floor, gets another elbow smash now from Valentine, who makes the tag to Slater. Slater back, just measured Wahoo for that kick. Kicking and stomping away at the head now. And again now, Slater's going to measure him. From that standing position with that hard chop, Wahoo trying to get to his feet is going to be picked up, slammed now by Slater. From under that knee that time, but Slater very quickly back to the attack as Wahoo now comes with a couple of chops, fingers to the eye. There's the tomahawk chop to the top of the head. They go down. What a collision! Slater had a full head of steam coming off of the ropes. Tremendous collision as these two hit head on. Slater reaches back for the tag. Wahoo still groggy. Valentine quickly in with the elbow smash. He's got him covered. 1, 2. Almost a count of 3. And Wahoo just does kick out just in the nick of time. Valentine now with the pressure, really applying it to Wahoo. Referee Tommy Young asking him. Wahoo saying no, no, no. And the crowd in the arena picking up the chant, Wahoo, Wahoo, and Wahoo reached down and got enough as he flipped Valentine over, and that takes tremendous leg strength, fans. Wahoo showed you right there just how powerful those big legs of his are. The tag now from Valentine. They're going to hold him Slater on the ropes as Valentine has got him right in a position where the back of the neck was exposed to Slater off of the ropes. Slater with some good jabs and a hard right hand. Hard right now by Wahoo. They trade blows again, and it's Wahoo with those tomahawk chops. Headbutt now from Slater. They're both groggy now. Another tremendous chop from Wahoo McDaniel. Another headbutt now by Slater. Slater trying to get him in a position for a suplex, and Wahoo spread out. Got him rolled into the package. Count of 2. Wahoo almost had him pinned. Reaches back for the tag. Here comes Roddy Piper. And through the ropes now goes Piper. He landed on his feet. He came charging back into the ring, and there's Valentine to kick him in the face 2 times. Greg Valentine now as Piper's trying to get into the ring. Each time he gets up on the apron. Valentine after him with a foot or a hard right hand. Wahoo being held in the corner now by Slater as they're down on the floor fighting. Out of the ring. And Piper down. And from behind now, Wahoo catches the knee. They both are after Wahoo. Valentine continues to pound him in the back. Now they both slug at him with right hand. Slater with the elbow smash. Valentine holding him. Piper into the ring now, and right to him goes Valentine. And Valentine and Piper slug it out. Now Piper goes after Slater. He's a wild man in the ring. Absolutely berserk is Roddy Piper, grabbing Valentine by the hair. Piper doesn't care. He wants him in any way he can get him. Fans right here, watch a bit of this action in slow motion right here. Roddy Piper coming off of the ropes right into that sleeper from Greg Valentine. And he fought it and fought it for a long time. What a match. What a tremendous match. Roddy Piper, Wahoo McDaniel, and of course Greg Valentine and Dick Slater. Speaking of tough competitors, fans, right here, these championship belts tell it all. The World Tag Team Champions, Jack and Jerry Briscoe. Jerry?
Well, Mr. Cottle, thank you very much for the very fine introduction. The people around the Carolinas and the Mid-Atlantic viewing area know that when they see the Briscoe brothers standing with Bob Cottle, they're seeing the finest in professional wrestling and professional broadcasting. You know, my brother and I were fortunate enough to hear you a little bit earlier on the program, and you know what, Bob?
What is that, Jerry?
The surprise that Jack and I really had to chuckle at was Jay Youngblood and Ricky Steamboat have the audacity of bringing their little brother down to watch their backs from the Briscoe brothers. Now, come on, let's face it.
What they call him, don't you?
What do they call him?
Mark.
Mark Youngblood.
Yes, very good. You know, Ric Flair, he tried it. We took it right out of Ric Flair. Rodney Piper tried it. We wrapped his skirt right around his face and told him to go home. Wahoo McDaniels, the squall man from Mexico, tried it, and he couldn't get it done. Youngblood, Steamboat, you might as well face the facts that when you come in against the Briscoe brothers, there's two of us physically standing here, but when we get in the ring, it's like 23 of us attacking you from every different direction that there is. Furthermore, Youngblood, Steamboat, you say that we've been breaking the rules. You say that we've been double teaming, abusing the rules and bending them. If you would shown Bob Geigel, who was here a little bit earlier, Jack and I tried to get his attention, but he was busy with other matters. Well, Youngblood, Steamboat, my brother and I are going to compile a film, and we're going to show the NWA exactly how you two have been abusing every rule that there is, and just maybe everything won't go your way. Maybe you got Jimmy Crockett in your pocket, but you try to get Bob Geigel in your pocket, you might get him in your pocket, but one thing that you won't get around your waist, brother, and that's the World Tag Team Championship, and you can take that to the bank.
All right, fans, right here ringside, here is Charlie Brown right here. Charlie, and of course, you're talking about creating some excitement. You got this Gary Hart upset. You know that, don't you?
Woo! That's it! Charlie Brown from out of town. What's your name again? Bob. How you doing, Bob? Very nice to meet you, Bob. All my brothers and sisters out there, the Boogeyman. The Boogeyman said the greatest fans in the world. The greatest fan is the Mid-Atlantic and the worldwide area. And I go out there and they open up their hearts. They open up their hearts to Charlie Brown. They feed me. They clothe me. Well, I feel good. All I know, Mr. Gary Hart, is the very last time I was in a police lineup, they picked me out as Charlie Brown from out of town. Woo!
Charlie Brown, fan from out of town. Let's bring it right here. Wahoo McDaniel and Roddy Piper. Wahoo, Roddy, I tell you, that was a tremendous match up there, but what a wild one when you get in there against guys like you had up there, Dick Slater and Greg Valentine, Wahoo.
Well, when you're guys like that, I don't want to go with the rules. You know, when I came back in the area, I came back to wrestle. But it doesn't look like it's going to be that way. You know, it's going to be like it was when I left here. Strap matches, matches like Piper have with the collar matches, chain matches, and fence matches. Well, that's fine with me. But I'll tell you one thing, Slater, Valentine, if you want it, I got a strap match. I'll put you in it. I'll keep you in the ring, and we'll see how much you like it. 2-on-1, that's the way it used to be. Well, times have changed. A lot of this has been going on. I'm back. Calls from fellas like Piper, Charlie Brown, Rufus. You know, they've been calling, asking me to come back and help them. Well, I'm here, and I guarantee you, you're not going to run over me. And if it takes a strap match to stop you, then that's what we'll give you, a strap match.
Right, Nothing better than the big chief himself, you see. If the trouble is keeping him in the ring, woof, woof, woof. Well, I know how to keep them in the ring. We come on here and we say, we'll sign a match on national television, and what do? They get out of the ring and run away like a couple of little dogs with their tail between their legs, arr, 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 and away they are, running back to the dressing room, don't want to finish nothing. Well, you may not like exactly what I got to say, but I do know how to cure the problem. I am the good doctor. Dr. Piper here, you see, if you want to run away like a little dog, the thing to do is take something like this and put it around their neck. Now, they can't go no place, can they? Hey, can they go to any place at all? Pull on that. Pull on that. Pull, pull, pull,
strap, brother.
Huh? They can't go no place. Then what you do, hey, pull, 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 pull. Ain't going no place, no how, no time. Then what you do is you put yourself 12 foot of strap or 12 foot of chain between them. Gives yourself, you see, what it does, gives you just a little weapon. Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? You like to use weapons. You like to use chairs. You like to use all this kind of stuff. Well, then let's get it done. You think the NWA is going to go for something like this? You're wrong, but we don't care.
Well, you know, right now the president,
go for it.
president is here. So he sees it, and when we sign these type of matches, then they're going to know what's happening. The president will have to okay it, because what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yes,
and you remember that.
Yeah, just check it out, because our specialty is we specialize in tough guys, because we're up to here with it. Let's get the darn thing done. Let's put straps, chains. Let's beat them until they get back in the ring. I don't care. Let's just get all this baloney done, man.
Let me tell you something. He's not kidding. I'm not kidding. If that's the type of matches they want, they got them.
See you next week, fans. And until then,